Science without nobility is blind. The core of Universitas 11 Maret logo, which is a head-like shape with a flame in its center, is described as wiku. The term wiku is Old Javanese, borrowed from Pali, meaning an educated noble disciple. The flame, or prabha, in the center of wiku's head represents the brilliance, wisdom, and nobility of the human mind. The flame also symbolizes the light of knowledge that shines and makes a positive and eternal impact on the world and humanity. Universitas 11 Maret, established on March 11, 1976, is one of the leading universities in Indonesia. Its noble goal is to contribute to the development of the nation through education, research, and innovation that benefits society. Universitas 11 Maret has built its vision and strategic plan on becoming an internationally excellent center of development of science, technology, and arts based on the noble values of national culture, focusing on enhancing its specialized subject areas and on developing its capacity to meet world-class standards. Universitas 11 Maret has established 3 centers of excellence in science and technology. The 3 centers are Center of Excellence in Lithium-Ion Battery Technology, Center of Excellence in FinTech, Financial Technology, and Center of Excellence in Javanology that focuses on the study, development, and preservation of Javanese culture. Universitas 11 Maret is located in the city of Surakarta, also known as Solo. Solo is a very comfortable city to live in, where Javanese culture and modern life combine. The life in Solo, which upholds the value of harmony, has prepared Universitas 11 Maret graduates to be future leaders who are tough, creative, friendly, generous, calm, and adaptive. To achieve the vision of Indonesian higher education, freedom to learn, independent campus, Universitas 11 Maret offers a variety of courses on a wide range of subjects. Various library services, such as thousands of print books and e-books, access to various international journals, and academic librarian assistants are available to support the teaching and learning process and promote the academic achievement of all students, lecturers, and researchers. With a comfortable learning environment, a green campus, and supported by an integrated information system, Universitas 11 Maret has an academic culture that fosters a global perspective and is prepared for Education 4.0. Active and strong international partnerships and collaborations have become an integral part of the university. International partnerships provide opportunities for student and staff mobility, as well as collaborative research and community service projects. In addition to being a center of excellence, Universitas 11 Maret is home to students from all 34 provinces in Indonesia and 33 countries in the world. This creates a multicultural environment that promotes mutual understanding. Embracing diversity and respecting all cultures makes every student feel recognized and valued. The complexity of the modern world is continuously increasing. We live in an uncertain world where change is rapid and unpredictable. Universities have a pivotal role to play in preparing graduates for jobs that don't exist yet, for technologies that haven't been invented, and for problems that need innovative solutions.
Universitas 11 Maret has three main agendas toward a world-class university. Acceleration in various phases of development is needed by embracing the foundation of awareness and Pancasila. Therefore, 5 strategic policy pillars were decided.
It is important to understand that flexibility and adaptability are the keys to growth in the rapidly changing 21st century. This is what encouraged Universitas 11 Maret to shift its governance and management to an autonomous public university. With this change, Universitas 11 Maret will have the autonomy and independence to improve the quality of teaching, learning, and research in implementing the 5 development pillars of Universitas 11 Maret, to accelerate its transformation process towards becoming a world-class university. Universitas 11 Maret.
Every citizen has the right to access to proper education through the reliable institutions. One of them is school. The large number of schools throughout Indonesia, as in cities, villages, and even inaccessible remote areas, confirms the importance of education for us. Therefore, with the teachers who transfer the knowledge wholeheartedly, possess quality human resources, excellent professionalism, pedagogy, personality, and social, in purpose to develop the students. To be dependable and professional are the demands attached to the teachers. By having strong determination and will to be a teacher, let's take a step forward towards the university generating the educators and educational personnel. Teacher Training and Education Faculty of Universitas 11 Maret, located in Surakarta, comes as one of the solutions for the issues. It is one of the teacher-producing institutions acknowledged for its quality and existence. The profiles of these faculty graduates as the teachers who are creative, innovative, cultured, and have millennial traits are recognized by schools and educational institutions throughout the country, even abroad. The vision of this faculty is to become a center for the development of science, technology, and arts in the area of teacher training and education that is internationally reputable by relying on the noble values of national culture. The implementation of the organization or institution adheres to active work culture, achievement orientation, customer satisfaction, teamwork, integrity, visionary, entrepreneurship. It is located in several locations. Apart from the main campus in Kentingan, UNS also has the campuses in Ngoresan, Kleco, Pabelan, and Kebumen. It currently manages more than 10,000 students and 47 study programs, encompassing 24 bachelor programs, 1 teacher professionalism program, 17 master programs, and 5 doctoral programs. Bachelor and master programs consist of study programs in the area of educational science, language and literature, mathematics and natural science, social science, and vocational engineering education. Doctoral study programs comprise for education science, Indonesian education, natural science education, history education, and economy education. Of those, 91.6% of bachelor study programs have been successfully accredited A. This faculty has excellently qualified teaching staffs or lecturers. There are currently 381 lecturers. Of those, 182 lecturers hold doctoral degree and 31 lecturers hold professorship. More than 50% of the lecturers have successfully published articles in internationally reputable and index journals. Some of the books and patent products are also produced by the lecturers. To be the world-class university, the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education will continuously strive for internationalization programs such as visiting professor, international practical fieldwork programs, collaborative research, joint conference, and joint publication. A number of universities collaborating in internationalization programs are the United States, Germany, Japan, India, Singapore, Thailand, Brunei Darussalam, and Malaysia. In response to the development of information technology, the study programs of this faculty have implemented digital-based learning method through blended learning program, research and community service through intelligent research and innovation service system, academic information system for the students, and online scholarship information that can be accessed anywhere and anytime. In terms of the students' affairs, the faculty provides 11 student activity units to develop the students' soft skills as well as foster the talents and interests. For instance, Student Press Board Motivasi, Nature Enthusiast Organization Brahma Hardika, Theater Club Peron, Islamic Activities Center, Catholic Students Family, Christian Students Association, Students Executive Board, Students Council, Students Choir Vox Magistra, Educational Studies Forum, and Regional Arts Development Unit. The faculty has accomplished remarkable achievements in both national and international events. Based on Ki Hajar Dewantaro's motto, ing ngarso sung tulodo, ing madya mangunkarso, tut budi handayani. The Faculty of Teacher Training and Education continuously improves, progresses, and transforms for the better by producing professional teachers able to be the role model, to empower, and to encourage for improving the education in Indonesia.
Saya alumni FKIP UNS, Pendidikan Matematika pada tahun 1992, dan alhamdulillah saya pun juga alumni Pendidikan Matematika Pasca Sarjana UNS. Sekarang saya bekerja di SMA Negeri 1 Surakarta, diamanai sebagai kepala sekolah. Alhamdulillah, saya bersyukur menjadi alumni UNS, khususnya FKIP, dan terkhusus lagi adalah Pendidikan Matematika, karena selama kami kuliah di FKIP UNS mendapatkan bekal yang cukup, sehingga untuk berkarir di masa depan sesuai dengan ilmu yang saya peroleh di UNS bisa diterapkan dengan baik. Dan pada saat ini, saya sebagai Kepala SMA Negeri 1 Surakarta merasakan betul dan bisa membedakan dari guru-guru yang kebetulan alumni dari FKIP UNS. Mereka sangat kompeten di bidangnya dan mereka sangat berdedikasi tinggi untuk menyampaikan ilmunya dan menjadi guru yang profesional. Nah, untuk ke depan, sebagai ungkapan seorang alumni FKIP UNS, berharap betul bahwa alumni FKIP UNS ke depan itu benar-benar bisa menjadi contoh dan juga bisa mengikuti perkembangan zaman.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Civil Engineering Education of Universitas Basmaret, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you for taking the time to attend this event. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Honorable Dean of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Professor Dr. Slamet Subiantoro, Master of Science, the Honorable Speaker from Tokushima University, Japan, Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara, Doctor of Philosophy, the honorable speaker from Marshall Cavendish Education Singapore, Ms. Alina Hau Hanron, and all the honorable audience members. First of all, let's praise our God for gathering us here without any obstacles. Today is a great honor for me, Alvina Kurniasih, to speak here and welcome all of you in this event. We proudly present International General Lecture and Learning Technology Short Course in Vocational Education. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our distinguished keynote lecturer, Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara from Japan and Ms. Alina Hau Hanron from Singapore. Please give big applause. Besides from overseas, we also have Dr. Abdul Haris Setiawan as a keynote lecturer from Indonesia. Thank you for coming. And we also have Ms. Lilis Trianingsih. Thank you so much for your attend. Now, I would like to tell you a little bit about our amazing speakers. The first one is Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara. He is an expert in mobile learning systems, game-based learning, virtual reality or augmented reality, and disaster education. Today, he will give us lecture about virtual reality or augmented reality for vocational education. And then, Ms. Alina Hau Hanron, she has more than 6 years of mathematics teaching experience in international schools in Singapore and a team lead at Marshall Cavendish Education. She is an expert in research-based mathematics programs, and today she will talk about artificial intelligence for vocational education. And from Indonesia, Dr. Haris will talk about augmented reality in CAD building for vocational education, and Ms. Lilis Trianingsih, she is an expert in CAD building construction design. She will talk about augmented reality in CAD building. As we have amazing speakers, I urge all of the audience to sit back, relax, and absorb the information that will be shared today. It promises to be an insightful and enriching experience for all of us. Before we starting our general lecture, let me explain our today's agenda schedule. The first one is opening. The second one is singing Indonesia Raya Anthem. The third one is greetings from the team. And then the main event, general lecture and short course. And then giving certificate to the guest lecturers. And then closing remark from the head of study program. And lastly is closing. All blessed audience, now we entering the first agenda that is opening. Let's start this event by reciting basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And then the next agenda is singing Indonesia Raya Anthem together.
Sana
We will move to the next agenda, greetings. The first greeting is from our committee chair, Dr. Abdul Haris Setiawan. Time is yours.
Thank you very much, Alvina. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank to the Dean of FKIP Universitas 11 Maret for all the support, also the Vice Dean for Academic Research and Student Affairs, Professor Slamet Subiantoro, and also Professor Mitsuhara, and also Ms. Alina Kau Handron. Thank you very much for your kind attending. We sincerely appreciate your coming, and we are delighted to have the opportunity to have been able to share your experiences, opinions, and insightful knowledge. And also, I would like to thank to all the committee for your great contribution. So this event has been very well organized. To all the students and all the participants, we really appreciate your great effort in studying and updating the newest innovation of modern learning technology. With this event, we hope we can improve our motivation to develop the quality of our education through collaboration and lifelong learning. Ladies and gentlemen, this program also aims to achieve the key performance indicator target, especially in point 8, increase the percentage of study programs with international accreditation or certification recognized by the government. In the future, we expect to have more chance to share knowledge and learning strategy substantially in civil engineering and vocational education. And we will invite more experts, conduct more research, conduct more community services, and hold more scientific discussion and seminars like today. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my appreciation and gratitude to all the keynote lecturers for their kind contribution, and to all the committee members who have contributed their best, without which this event would never have been able to run well. Moreover, I would like to express my deepest gratitude and high appreciation to all participants in this program. And finally, please enjoy the International General Lecture and Short Course of Vocational Education Technology. Applause for all the audience. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Akhirul kalam, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdul Haris Setiawan, for the greeting. And the next greeting is from Dean of Faculty Teacher Training and Education, presented by Vice Dean for Academic Research and Student Affairs, Professor Dr. Slamet Subiantoro, Master of Science. Time is yours. Excuse me, sir, the mic is still muting.
And sorry, thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon from Indonesia. Honorable the Dean of Teacher Training and Education Faculty, Universitas 11 Maret, Dr. Mardiana, Master of Science. Honorable our keynote speakers, first Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara, PhD. He is from Tokushima University, Japan. And secondly, Miss Alina Kohanron from Marcel Cavendish Education, Singapore. And third, Abdul Haris Setiawan, PhD, and Miss Lilis Trianingsih, MPD. So they are from the Building Engineering education program study from Faculty of Teacher Training and Education Universitas 11 Maret. Special for Dr. Ida Nugroho Saputra, Master Engineering, Lead of Study Program in the Building Engineering Education Study Program, and all of the participants who is following in this program. Alhamdulillah, first of all, let us be grateful to God for His mercy and blessings in bringing us to attend to this meeting. Secondly, we would like to send our peace and blessings to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam for his inspirations and guidance. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all faculty and study program leaders, especially the Building Engineering Education Study Program at Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas 11 Maret. First of all, I would like to thank the lecturers and students who have participated and taken the time to attend this afternoon's event. Second, I would like to express my appreciation and admiration to Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara, PhD, who was willing to join this scientific meeting online this afternoon, and Ms. Alina Kauhanron from Marshall Cavendish Education Singapore, who will give us her knowledge and experiences. And Abdul Haris Setiawan, PhD, he is not only a speaker, but he also leader of the committee in this event. And thank you for Ms. Lilis Trianingsih, MPD, from Faculty of Teacher Training and Education. She is a potential young lecturer in Building Engineering Education Study Program. Thank you very much for Dr. Ida Nugroho Saputra, Master Engineering, and thank you for all the participants. I am Professor Dr. Slamet Subiantoro, Master of Science, Deputy Dean for Academic Research and Student Affairs at Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, and it's a great privilege for me to open a public lecture entitled Vocational Education Technology and Short Course Learning Technology this afternoon. So by saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I will officially open the event, the series of public lectures this afternoon on Tuesday, 11 July 2023. Hopefully, the material of today's public lecture will inspire and help all of us as academics, both lecturers and students, especially in the Building Engineering Education Study Program at the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas 11 Maret Surakarta. Finally, once again, we thank you for the presence of fellow lecturers and students, and we apologize for any shortcomings. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Slamet Subiantoro, for the greeting. And to remark this special event, let's capture the moment by taking picture together. For all audience members, please turn on your camera. Okay, are you guys ready? I'll start counting. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the next slide. Please turn on your camera. Okay, the next slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the next slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. And then the next agenda is the main event which we are waiting for, the general lecture. The first lecture is about virtual reality or augmented reality for vocational education by Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara and will be moderated by Dr. Abdul Haris Setiawan.
Okay, thank you very much, Alvina, for being the master of ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, let me accompany Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara to let us know about VR and ER technology. Please welcome Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara. Mitsuhara Sensei, are you there? Hello, Mitsuhara Sensei.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Mitsuhara Sensei, we are in Indonesia, 11 Maret University, especially in our study program in Civil Engineering Education, FTTA Universitas 11 Maret. We're really happy. We really, we sincerely appreciate your coming, and we are delighted to have the opportunity to have been able to share your experience, opinion, and insightful knowledge for a few times ahead. Then, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about a short profile of Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara. Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara has received his Bachelor of Engineering degree and also Master degree from Kinda University in 1998 and 2000. And he is now a professor at Tokushima University. His interests include mobile learning system, game-based learning, VR and AR, and also disaster education. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will start to talk and to discuss things about AR and VR with Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara.
Okay. Thank you for.
Sensei, thank you.
Thank you. Can I have the screen? Can I share?
Okay. Now I will give all the time to you, Hiroyuki Mitsuhara Sensei. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Dozo.
Okay. Can you see my slide?
Yes, Sensei. We can see your slide very clearly.
Okay. I enlarged the slide. It is okay.
I think this is okay.
Is that okay? Thank you so much. My Zoom has been shutting down. Can you hear me? Oh my goodness.
Not really clear, Sensei.
Sorry, unfortunately, my Zoom was shut it down. I don't know why, but I reactivated now. And can you hear me? Let me.
Yes, we can hear you, Professor Mitsuhara. Wow, Indonesia language.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Opportunity. Selamat. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Wow, you've been in Indonesia, in Borobudur.
An error window was just shows the Zoom will be shut it down.
Okay.
I'm sorry again.
No problem, Sensei.
Okay. Selamat sore and terima
Selamat
kasih.
sore juga, Sensei.
Terima kasih telah menyan saya.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Hiroyuki Mitsuhara from Tokushima University, Japan. First of all, I'd like to express my sincere thanks to Haris Sensei and Subiyanto Sensei and Saputo Sensei. Sensei means in Japanese professors, doctors, teachers, and other respected persons. So please let me call you Sensei. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sensei.
It's very great honor and a great pleasure for me to have this kind of talk. My talk title is VR or AR for vocational education. Okay. Please let me introduce myself briefly. I'm an associate professor at the University of Tokushima. Here's my email address. So if you have any questions or comments, please email me. My major is educational technology, and educational technology have a wide range of topics, but my recent topic is on XR, including VR or AR for education, game-based learning, and mobile learning. And my recent targeted subject is disaster education. You know, Japan is a very earthquake-prone country, like Indonesia. And I'm living in Tokushima, which is facing the Pacific Ocean. And the Pacific Ocean has, what can I say, subduction zone that can generate a big earthquake. So a big earthquake, if a big earthquake occurs, my town will be attacked by very high tsunami. So I'm very interested in disaster education. My birthplace was Hiroshima. I guess you know Hiroshima because Hiroshima has a few world heritages such as the Shinto Shrine and atomic bomb building, a memorial building or something like that. And when I was 24 or 25, I moved to Tokushima. The Tokushima is a very small prefecture in Japan. The number of residents about 72,000 people, and the area is about 4,000 square kilometers. It's a very small city, but it has very attractive spots like Whirlpool and Our Dance. Our Dance is the top 3 traditional dance in Japan. So if you have interest in Tokushima, please visit these URLs that shows a very attractive spots and a very good food or good persons or something like that. And actually, I've been to Indonesia 4 times, and I visited 3 cities in Indonesia, Surabaya, Jogja, and Bengkulu. I really want to go to Indonesia again.
Yes, please, Sensei.
in the
Please
near
come
future.
to Indonesia again. We will be very, very happy to receive you.
Thank you. Okay, let's move to the next slide. When Haris Sensei asked me about this talk, to tell the truth, I a little bit annoyed or worried because I'm not the specialist of vocational education. But he said, vocational education is almost same to the every education, because every education entails, vocational education entails practice, and practice is needed for better performance in every education.
Yes.
So I agreed on his request, and now I have talk. Okay, my targeted subject is disaster education. So please let me make an example. Please imagine, what if an earthquake happens when you are inside the building, inside your house, inside your room? What will you do in the event of an earthquake?
Of course, panic.
Yeah, panic. I believe that Indonesian people have been very well trained to protect yourselves from earthquakes. So I imagine that Indonesian people has already known drop, cover, and hold on, right? And
Not really, dear Sensei.
And have you ever practiced drop, cover, and hold on? How frequently? Once per year? Once per month?
I don't think so, Sensei. Maybe we can ask some of the participants. I think maybe in 1 year, well, maybe only very few people who train to face like a disaster like this.
Okay, in Japan, there are similar situations because people who are interested in disaster prevention has actively participated in the training, but many of people don't have interest in disaster management, so they never participate in the training. And imagine again, if an earthquake happened now, can you drop, cover, and hold on? In Japan, earthquake early warning goes off several seconds before the event of a big earthquake. I guess when Haris Sensei in Yamaguchi University, you have not been to Yamaguchi University?
Yes, of course. So many earthquake there.
Okay.
But not very big. Only small earthquake. No problem.
And in Japan, such a warning goes off several seconds before the event of a big earthquake, but Japanese cannot always drop, cover, and hold on, even if they regularly practice it as disaster training. Why? Because disaster training, especially for the public, often lacks reality. Please look at the left picture. I'm sorry, this picture is very small and it's difficult to recognize the details, but a few girls having smile and they are moving very calmly in a real situation, in a real earthquake. Maybe they will get panicked and windows are broken and the debris are on the floor. So it's very chaotic situation. But traditional disaster education is not realistic. On the other hand, the right picture seems to be very realistic because you can see the smoke and people are moving very, what can I say? I forgot the English, but they seems to be very active participants. because this training was performed by U.S. Navy. So U.S. Navy had very good, provided a very good training for people. But in traditional training, disaster training, we cannot do this kind of effects, this kind of practice. So I want to say that reality or realism is needed for practice, that is needed for better performance in every education, including vocational education. So the important question is how to provide reality. Of course, this talk's title includes VR, AR, so we want to emphasize that VR and AR can be used to provide the reality. As you know, the virtual reality means fully inside a virtual world. We dive into fully inside the virtual world. For example, playing a VR game, Resident Evil, with a head-mounted display, MetaQuest 2, it's a fully inside a virtual world, virtual reality. And the next one is augmented reality. The augmented reality is the fusion of virtual and real world. But strictly speaking, the virtual world is superimposed above the real world, like Pokemon Go AR mode on the smartphone. Please look at this picture. The user takes the pictures, movies, and 3D CG is superimposed on the captured real-time vision like this. This is the AR application. And sometimes MR is focused on, and MR sometimes is included in AR, but a little bit different between two. MR is the fusion of virtual world and real world, but MR is more interactive than AR. For example, Microsoft HoloLens, which is a see-through HMD, can be used to realize, to enable users to interact with the presented 3D virtual objects in very realistic manner. Anyway, VR and AR have been rapidly spreading to the society because HMD, the price is getting down, I think, and high performance PC is easier to get. Please let me show the reality virtuality continuum. This is a very popular scale in thinking about the reality and virtuality. This figure shows the left side means real world, real environment. The right side means virtual reality, virtual environment. And this area means mixed reality, and mixed reality is divided into augmented reality and augmented virtuality. Please look at the right side picture. This is the reality, real picture. And augmented reality, the 3D CG are superimposed onto the real picture. And augmented virtuality, real objects are superimposed into the virtual world, virtual 3D world. And virtuality is fully inside the virtual world. And this reality and virtuality continuum was proposed in 1994 by Milgram and Kishino. And after that, recently, this reality virtuality continuum was revised by other researchers. It not dramatically changed, but the researchers added the new element called matrix-like virtual environment. I guess almost all of you have already known the movie called Matrix. The Matrix Matrix represents the full dive VR using BMI, brain machine interface. The characters in the movie can move between the virtual world and the real world through the BMI, brain machine interface. If you have not seen this movie, I'd like to recommend you to see the movie. Very interesting, and it's very attractive. And the matrix like a virtual environment can be realized. If yes, how many years later? If focusing on audio visual reality, it may have been already realized. It has been realized by using a game engine called Real Engine 5. Please let me show the demonstration video of Real Engine 5.
Earlier this year, we released Unreal Engine 5, making the next.
Can you hear the voice from the video?
We've created many new tools and features that make working in real time faster, more efficient, and more collaborative. Let's take a look at a few of the tools in Unreal Engine 5.
I guess many people has already known the game engine Real Engine 5. These scenery were modeled and visualized, rendered by the computer graphic technologies.
Each of these buildings where indirect lighting adapts on the fly with changes in geometry or direct lighting.
I cannot recognize which is real, which is virtual. So this kind of technology can be used for the public.
Existing animations, even across characters with different skeletons and.
If we can use a high-spec PC, we can use this kind of technology to provide a very realistic 3D virtual world.
Delivers high-resolution frames at the cost.
And I think students
significantly extended modeling tool set, so you can perform any
here
directly in the
are interested in civil engineering.
Creation.
This kind of tool can be used for design of building or design of cities.
Standard tools, also through geometry scripts, which can even be executed at runtime. It's all built in.
So this technology can realize the matrix-like virtual environment.
Engine 5.
Okay, next I want to explain the history of virtual reality. When was the first VR developed? 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago? The answer is 1962. The first VR product is called Sensorama. It was invented by Morton Herring. He is an engineer in the USA. This is a picture of the first VR product. This machine can display, have a display and speaker, fan, fragrance, ejector, and vibrating chair. So this VR product can stimulate 5 senses of human. This is the first VR product in 1962, about 16 years ago. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And the next VR product is called the Sword of Damocles in 1968. It was invented by Ivan Edward Sutherland. He is a very famous researcher in the USA. He is a pioneer of graphical user interface, and he joined the project of developing the internet. So very famous researcher. He developed this kind of virtual reality machine. This virtual reality machine is the world's first optical see-through HMD. So this can be regarded as the world's first AR device. And in 1980s, in 1982, the term of virtual reality appeared in SF novel. and the R&D of virtual reality was accelerated because the computer's performance was very drastically enhanced. Okay, please let me show the practical education using VR. The first one is a virtual laboratory. The virtual laboratory has been actively developed so far because it can provide learning anytime and a safe environment and a repeatable learning style, trial and error.
Or even use existing lesson plans from other educators, such as lab reports, quiz sets, images, animations, theory, videos, and much more. Our course mapping services also help you set up your course.
Talking about Labster, about 500 biology students on his campus are doing virtual lab experiments this way.
The students having fun while they are learning is
nuclear physics experiment, and we can't do that here, but we can do that on Labster.
So it's been a very good experience. Try Labster for free today with your students.
And help empower.
Okay, this kind of virtual laboratory introduced into universities or companies and provide anytime, anywhere learning through the virtual reality technologies. And the next example is virtual classroom. This was developed by Simulabo in Murdoch University in Australia. This virtual reality is used for teacher education. Teacher has to communicate with children and their parents. So this VR software focuses on how to communicate with students and their parents.
For student teachers, stepping into a classroom for the first time can be a daunting experience, but one university has found a way to make the experience a little less terrifying.
Murdoch University in Perth is the first institution in the country to incorporate virtual classrooms into its courses, giving the next generation of teachers the confidence to deal with all types of students and some hard-to-handle parents.
What's so funny? What's so funny? This isn't funny, mate. My kid could be looking at suspension and you're sitting there goofing off like an idiot.
Student teacher Jade Stilatano was told by his supervisor to prepare for a meeting with an angry parent, but nothing could have prepared him for this.
Okay, sir, so one thing you need to understand is I can't be everywhere at once.
Don't give me that, mate. Don't give me excuses. Look, obviously you don't care. I'm going to the principal, mate, and your job is on the line.
Okay, this virtual reality is a combination of VR and real human. I guess this virtual reality was developed about 5 or 6 years ago. So the recent version might be integrated with AI technology, not real human, but AI can speak and communicate with the learners. In this case, the learners who want to be a teacher.
For the next generation of.
Okay, please let me another example. So the first one is X-ray imaging training. As you know, X-ray can entail dangerous about radioactive ray exposure. So this kind of VR is very safe and repeatable. So it can provide a high learning effectiveness using virtual reality technology. And the next one is also deal with medical skill training.
Welcome to our virtual world. We are Connect the Dots, and in close collaboration with medical specialists, we have developed the virtual training program, CTD Health. Here, healthcare personnel can practice medical skills, interdisciplinary interaction, and develop necessary communication skills in a safe learning environment without putting the patient or themselves at risk. Training in VR is realistic and immersive.
I think medical treatment needs communication with the patient, and touch is very sensitive and important. So this kind of virtual reality has to reproduce the touch and natural communication with avatars, I think. And the next one is a Biko painting training. I have not prepared the video, but I attached the very small picture. So it is difficult to recognize what he is doing. But if you are interested in this paper, please access to this DOI.
And
okay. The real related keyword is metaverse. Recently, we have had many times of the keywords of metaverse. As you know, metaverse is a meta plus universe. It can be also called MMO VR, massively much user online VR or social VR. In the metaverse, users can enter a virtual world as avatars to communicate with others, do various activities, etc. So the very famous metaverse services, Second Life, VR Chat, and Clusters, and other many services. I guess Indonesia, the metaverse from Indonesia will exist. And metaverse is very new technology, and the definition has not been fixed. But a Japanese researcher proposed 7+1 conditions like this: permanently existing, real-time, no limit to the number of simultaneous users, economical, no limit to experiences, vague boundary between real and virtual worlds, interoperability, participation by individuals and companies, and physicality. So this kind of conditions satisfied in the metaverse. It's very, very realistic metaverse can be generated. Okay, I'm interested in metaverse, so we tried to make the metaverse our university metaverse. When I create this kind of a metaverse, building a 3D virtual world is the hardest task. For example, we used the CAD software and the BIM software to model the 3D CG of the 3D building of the buildings, and we introduced photogrammetry technology to increase the reality. So this is a 3D model created by using CAD, and I added the photogrammetry texture to the 3D model, and this is a created 3D model. This is not completed, so it's like a little bit strange because there are so many noises, so we have to fix these kind of noises. But it's photorealistic in comparison with just using a 3D CG model created by CAD. And photogrammetry can be easier to use now. If you have iPhone 20 Plus or 20 Plus Pro or Max and a higher version, you can take the pictures by using a specific application of photogrammetry, and you can easily create the 3D model by taking a video. It's a very small object, but it's very realistic because it was created from many pictures. Okay, we can use the CAD and the photogrammetry to model the building in our campus. But if we create the city scale 3D models, what can we do? In Japan, Open 3D City model was released from the government. It is called the Plateau Project. And recently, currently, more than 50 cities have been modeled as 3D building model and texture. This is Numazu city in Japan. Unfortunately, Tokushima has not yet modeled, but in this year, Tokushima city models will be released. We obtained this kind of 3D model with texture. And we created the evacuation training virtual reality using the Open 3D City model. This is a Numazu city version. This version has not high resolution texture, so it might not be realistic, but this model can reproduce the scenery of the city. So we created this kind of realistic city scenery evacuation training VR. And now Google Immersive View is a promising technology to provide a 3D model of the city.
Create a high fidelity representation of a place so you can experience it before you visit. Now we are expanding that same technology to do what Maps does better. And it's an entirely new way to look at my journey. I can zoom in to get an incredible bird's eye view of the ride. And as we turn, we get onto a great bike path.
We can often use Google Map to when we go to somewhere, but in the near future, we can use this kind of 3D model, 3D navigation system on the smartphone. And this kind of technology can be used to realize a digital twin. So digital twin will rapidly spread by using this kind of technology. Okay, VR is completely available for vocational education. I don't think so, because there are so many various kinds of occupations. So the current VR mainly can enhance the audiovisual reality. So eyesight, hearing can be covered by HMD, and touch. It can be covered with a wired globe, but the wired globe is still very expensive. And when we use touch effectively, we have to reproduce completely reflection, temperature, texture, and so on. So it might be still difficult to realize perfectly reproducing the reality, reflection, temperature, and texture. And smell and taste very, very difficult to reproduce. So these kind of senses will not be realized in 20 or 30 years. And the current VR limits available occupation. However, I believe VR has a high potential for vocational education. In terms of providing simulated experiences, even if it's incomplete. For example, VR can transfer the organization thought, the workplace atmosphere, persons, tools, etc. So VR can be used in terms of not only training, but also feeling. Okay, the next topic is augmented reality. As you know, augmented reality is to superimpose the virtual world, for example, 3D CZ onto the real-time vision, onto the real world. The history started in 1968. It was the sort of democracy. And in 1992, the term of augmented reality appeared in an academic paper, this paper, and the implementation types have three. The first one is location-based AR. To realize this kind of AR, we need a GPS, magnetic sensor, and a gyro sensor. The next one is marker-based AR. This AR, in this AR, we have to capture the real world by using a camera. The application, AR application, detects fiducial markers captured in the real-time vision. These are the examples of fiducial markers. And recently, markerless AR are very actively used. It can detect the planes from the real-time vision, detect the user's current location in compound methods. For example, Google Map Live View is realized by using this kind of markerless AR. And please look at this video.
In 2030, augmented reality is changing the world forever. For example, AR glasses are becoming mainstream. AR glasses look identical to regular pairs of glasses, and they're worn by people from all walks of life. In every major city, you're able to use your AR glasses.
Now, the AR is realized mainly on using the smartphone, but now smart glasses are rapidly advancing and the price is getting down. So in 5 or 6 years, the smart glasses can be more spread to the society, I think.
Yeah.
And how can AR be used for vocational education? The current VR needs a high degree audiovisual reality, that is building the 3D models, reproducing physical phenomena, and enable various interactions. And in addition to, the current VR needs instructional design, customization, and learning support functions, and an immersive HMD and high-performance computer. So even if VR satisfies these necessities, there are many things that students can learn only in the real world. So I think a student learns the occupation through VR, and after that, the student chooses one from the occupation, and the student visits a real workplace. It can be regarded as a community of practice and become a member. It means situated learning. And then the student joins the work process and autonomously learn from masters or older members. It might be the same to the legitimate preferential participation and the cognitive apprenticeship. I'm sorry, it's difficult for me to pronounce. And AR can be used as learning support functions for the situated learning, on-site learning. Okay, time is running. So please let me show the example of AR.
Innovative solutions to build everything quicker in these. We allow us to drag and drop our 3D models that we already have to create mathematical instructions to deliver to our professionals.
This is an example using Microsoft HoloLens.
Develop a step-by-step guide.
By using AR, instructional information can be displayed on the HoloLens, and the efficiency of work will be improved using this kind of AR technology. And the next one is AR-based welding training. I have no idea how to weld but this kind of AR technology can be used for well-being training. In VR, it is difficult to reproduce touch or heat, but of course, this AR application does not generate heat, but it can generate touch using this kind of device. Okay, time is running, so I have to conclude the talk. Vocational education in Japan. Japan has a society of declining birth rate and aging population. So it means that the population of workers is decreasing. It means declining in national power. So vocational education starts from childhood. For example, elementary and junior high school students go to local companies or organizations for work experience. In addition, vocational education is positioned as lifelong learning. It includes recurrent education, which means continuing lifelong learning after leaving school, alternating between work and study as needed. And the reskilling is a very hot topic in Japan. It means learning skills necessary to continue to create value in the profession, especially focusing on digital technology skills. For example, utilizing acquired skills in a job, change, or a side job is the aim of reskilling. And in Japan, overseas human resources are getting more important. So Japan should expand vocational education, not only in Japan, but also to overseas people. Okay, thank you. I cannot control my time, but thank you so much. Terima kasih. This is the end of my talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Terima kasih kembali, Profesor Mitsuhara Sensei. Ladies and gentlemen, we just heard about what Professor Mitsuhara Sensei talked about virtual reality and augmented reality. That is, the technology is very important in our life. So not only in what we say, not only in general education, but also in vocational education. The virtual reality and augmented reality is really useful for learning. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we know that there are many insightful and great knowledge from Professor Mitsuhara Sensei. Thank you very much, Professor Mitsuhara Sensei, for sharing the great experience to us. And then now this is the time for the audience to give some questions. Then Mitsuhara Sensei will give the answer. So to the audience, now we give chance to you to give any questions or any comments that you can tell to Professor Mitsuhara Sensei. Please. To the committee, please also see about the audience. If the audience want to ask something, please help me to identify who give the questions. Maybe the audience is like, wow, the virtual reality and also augmented reality is born so long ago, 1962. So more than our age. Very old. Jadi Bapak Ibu Saudaraku semua, ternyata virtual reality and augmented reality ternyata tidak merupakan hal yang baru, ternyata sudah lahir sejak tahun 1962. So the development of this technology is going so rapidly. Okay, is there any questions? You also can give the question from the chat column. Is there any question from the audience? Maybe I will start to give question to Michuara Sensei. Michuara Sensei, may I ask you the questions because the audience may be still thinking about what they want to ask. Michuara Sensei, we are very happy that you tell us about the usefulness of VR and ER. We know that in vocational education, we need so many funds to make the learning process become almost real with the industry. So just like you have shared to us about welding training or ER-based assembly support, I am interested with the AR-based welding training. As we know that to make the learning process become really just like the industrial condition, we need the engine, we need the equipment. That the equipment is, very expensive. And besides very expensive, this is also, maybe dangerous because the welding work, this is very hot and maybe too risky for students. So how may we make the virtual reality or augmented reality with this device? As we know that how to make we really skilled in welding, because in welding this is not only like movement of our hand, but also like how to feel when the electrode and so like what is it? How may we say there is a shock? Like whenever the welding device from the iron and then the welding device meet together, so there is like a shock. So we may feel the shock by our sense from our hands. But how about the virtual reality or augmented reality make it become like just the same with the real condition of the shock, how may the technology can make the real condition become the same. Maybe like that, Professor Mitsuhara.
Okay, thank you very much for your very interesting question. Maybe reproducing the vibration between two objects can be a very important point to enhance the welding skills. And recently, maybe the PlayStation 5 controllers.
PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, hi.
Yeah, vibrations devices.
Vibration. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we record the real vibration into the data. We can use the data to reproduce the vibration. So we need correctly sense the data, correct the data of vibration or something like that, and we have to transform to the vibration devices correctly. But I'm not, what can I say? I have no enough knowledge about this kind of technology, but I guess it can be done by using such technologies, devices.
Oh, yeah. So there is like many data of vibration. So we can put the data into the system.
Yes.
So we can conclude that in augmented reality and virtual reality, basically we can make the condition in the real life really almost the same, like that. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Mitsuhara. And then we see there is questions from the audience. Let me see. Okay. Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara, my name is Devin Nur Fauzi. I want to ask, what are the other functions of augmented reality and virtual reality and others in the future, apart from being a training simulation and universe projection, as explained in the presentation earlier? Thank you in advance. So Devin or Fauzi want to ask about other function of ER and VR.
Other functions.
From being a training simulation and universe projection, as explained in the presentation earlier.
I believe that this question is about another application areas of VR or concrete.
Yes, another application area. This makes sense. Yes.
Okay. Maybe VR and AR can get closer to the real world. So every type of real world can be reproduced into the AR and VR, such as entertainment and usual communication. Yes. So yeah, entertainment or usual communications.
Hi, thank you, Sensei.
Yeah.
Yes. Is there any other questions from the audience? As we know that the time is running, and we will move to the next keynote speaker. Is there still any questions? Professor Mitsuhara Sensei, thank you very much for your kind in giving the lecture. Thank you very much for your insightful knowledge, and thank you very much for sharing your great experiences. I think one day is not enough, or maybe 2 days, 3 days. I hope next time we can meet again in another happy event. And to all the audience, if you still have any questions, please you can write your questions to the committee, and we can share to Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara Sensei, or also you can give email to Hiroyuki Mitsuhara Sensei that Professor Mitsuhara Sensei have already shared his email to you. So don't worry. If only today you cannot ask questions directly, you still have another time. Professor Mitsuhara Sensei, is there anything else that you want to tell us?
Oh, not at all. Thank you so much. Terima kasih.
Oh, terima kasih kembali, Sensei. Okay, I think this is the end of the first presenter. Thank you very much, Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara, Doctor of Philosophy. See you next time in another happy event. Thank you.
I hope so. Thank you.
Alvina, I give the time back to you. Thank you.
Okay, so that was such an interesting lecture by our amazing speaker, Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara. Thank you very much for the explanation about virtual reality or augmented reality for vocational education. I'm sure it will be beneficial for the audience. And now, let's move on to the next lecture, that is Artificial Intelligence for Vocational Education by Ms. Alina Handron, and will be moderated by Dr. Abdul Haris Setiawan again. For Dr. Haris, time is yours.
Thank you very much, Alvina. Miss Alina Kao. So we have
Dr. Harris. Hi, everyone. Hello. Thank you for the introduction.
Yes, thank you, Alina. We have almost the same name. Our our Master of Ceremony is almost the same with you, the name. So I almost miss call when I call Alvina or Alina. I'm so sorry, Miss Naka. Okay, welcome to Indonesia in virtual.
Happy to be here.
Miss Alina, yes. Before we start to discuss about what Miss Alina have already give the synopsis of your presentation to us, and we have already know a little bit about what you will present to us. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a little about Miss Alina Kauhandron profile. Miss Alina Kauhandron completed both her Master of Education in Mathematics and Postgraduate Diploma in Education at Nanyang Technological University, Republic of Singapore. She has more than 6 years of mathematics teaching experience in international schools in Singapore, and she also one of a team lead at Marshall Cavendish Education Singapore. She has worked with several renowned educators and consultants to create research-based mathematics programs that incorporate the latest trend in the teaching and learning of mathematics. Ladies and gentlemen, so in this time we will learn about as we see in the screen here. So through the utilization of an advanced AI, AI-driven platform, we can empower both learners and educators to embark on personalized and transformative experience in vocational education. So vocational education with an emphasis on mathematics. So let's join Miss Alina Kauhanran lecture. Okay,
Thank you, Dr.
Alina.
Harry.
Thank you too. Okay, now I will give the time to you. Thank you very much. Time
I'm
is
going to
yours.
share my screen.
Yes, please.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we have.
All right. Thank you for the introduction. A very warm good evening to all of you. Like what Dr. Harris has mentioned, my name is Alina, and I represent Marshall Cavendish Education, a global education solutions provider based in Singapore. So I'm truly delighted to be here today to share with you how we integrate our math solution with AI to bring about the joy of learning for teachers and students around the world. I understand that many of you here specialize in civil engineering and you study math as part of your specialization.
Yes.
So I hope you will find inspiration in our work at Marshall Cavendish Education through the use of the AI, and you can extend that thinking in the area of your expertise, which is the engineering field. Okay. So here is an overview of the two key areas that we will be discussing today. First, I will share about how the use of AI can drive personalized learning in math. And next, I will also share about how the use of AI can help us simplify and refine the problem-solving process, especially for complex problems. And to conclude the session, I will invite you, the audience, to share about, like what does the utilization of AI mean for you with the emerging trends on the use of AI in the various industries. So make sure you have your phone ready to scan the QR codes as we go along. So it'd be great to have your inputs as we go along, because it is very important that you as a community, you have an idea of what the thinking is like at the moment. And once we know what the thinking is like, that's where we can move on from there. So do participate and ask questions along the way. So before we dive into the key areas, look at the photos on the screen. I would like you to take a moment and reflect on the technological tools you have seen or used when you were a child. So do you remember a time when smartphones were not yet a part of our lives? So I don't know about you, but I do. I didn't grow up with smartphones. So yeah, you can think about just like 10 years ago. So how was it? So now let's fast forward time to today. It could be 10 years, 20 years, or even 30 years later, depending on how young you are. So right now, what technological tools are you using? Perhaps a smartphone, a laptop, and these devices, I believe, have become a very integral part of your life and your daily routines. So this is what is at present with the luxury of tools that we didn't have when we were younger. I believe so. So now, what about the future? So let's pause for a moment and envision how it will be like 5 to 10 years later. So things have changed a lot past 3 years because of COVID. What about in the next 5 years? How will it look like? Can you imagine the new tools that will be available at our disposal? So with all these questions in mind, I hope we keep an open mind and embrace the benefits of the tools that we currently have or will soon have for the purpose of really driving progress in our own areas of expertise. And I like to hear from the audience. So just to have a sense of your go-to sources when you seek answers to your questions in your daily lives, I would like to invite you to share what you turn to for answers when you have questions. So do pick up your phone and scan the QR code, or you can open a browser, go to mentimeter.com and key in the code. But of course, I will have to share the presentation before you can key in your answers, responses. So I'm going to present it. So share your go-to sources when you seek answers to your questions. So when you have a question today, what do you turn to for answers? So I'm going to do it myself to make sure it's working. So don't worry, it's anonymous. There's no right or wrong answers. So you can just key in your answers. Let's see whether we have any first brave responses. I have one response. I see about 100 of us here. Let's get at least 10%, 10 of us. So if you are wondering what you should be doing, pick up your phone, scan the QR code, and let us know when you have questions. What do you turn to for answer? It could be a very simple question. Yeah, Google. Thank you for that. Like, I'm going to another city in Indonesia. I need to know the directions. Let me Google. So that's one way to find answers. Professor, Google. Keep the answers coming, keep the responses coming. Alina, wow. I'll probably turn to something else, an AI, and I hope to get back to you with what you can get out of me. Thank you. It's nice to see my name. Friend, true. That was the first answer I got when I tested the question on my colleague. Thank you. We have 10 responses. Keep it going for the next minute or so. Search on Google. You can input your answers in Bahasa, that's fine, because it's for the community. Photo math, cool. So now all the professors know where you go to for answers. Ask Google, future, okay? I assume this is ask teacher, ask professor. We have 15, let's see. Yes, look for answers in the book. That is a very classic way. Facebook forum, perhaps when you look for reviews of restaurants or places you want to go. Generative AI, Mr. Harris, did I see that? So education technology, Google is quite big, book is quite big, ChatGPT looks big to me too. So thank you. We have 20 people. I think that is 20%. That's good enough for a start. If you have more answers, keep it coming. And I can see that we probably ask a human or we ask a AI language model or internet, anything digital. So these are the key areas that I'm seeing. In terms of your analysis, you can analyze for yourself what it means. So these are the sources that we look for answers when we have questions. Let me go back to my slide. Okay, I hope that perks you out a little. So I will show you more photos here. So, so we know we are kind of out of COVID, and the COVID situation has changed many things. It has changed the way students learn in schools and how we work. And for this Zoom meeting to happen, it is lovely. And I guess such use of technology is really accelerated post-COVID, and the readiness level for technology is higher now. So for this slide, let's talk about the school context here. I would like you to take a look at the photo on the top right. That shows you a typical classroom in Singapore in the 1950s. So you can see that everything is pen and paper from the photo. No computers, no internet. So things were pretty much traditional, I believe so. And now take a look at the photo on the left, as it is already a little dated because you can see people still wearing masks. So this is a recent classroom in Singapore in the last 1-2 years. So students are still wearing masks and practicing safe distancing measure, as you can see from the seating arrangement. But that said, you can see that the students are all equipped with their personalized learning device. Personal learning device in Singapore, we call it PLD. It can be a Chromebook, it can be an iPad, it can be a laptop. It depends on the school. And in fact, today in Singapore, all our secondary school students have their own personal learning device, and they use it both in school and at home. And it is very common for students to engage in hybrid learning. So contrast the two photos. Times have changed very drastically from 1950s to now, which is about 70 years apart. And with the different resources that we have, the kind of experiences that we engage students in have evolved. And can you imagine this? If today, if we were to be still using the same resources that we have used for the last 70 years, that is the traditional one, the outcomes of students will probably be the same as 70 years ago. But thankfully, we all have progressed, which is why we are all here online. We have progressed in varying degrees with the advances in technology. And I feel it is important that we continue to capitalize and harness the benefits of technology so as to equip the people, the students, the younger generation with the necessary knowledge and skills and the capacity to think, participate, and contribute actively in their learning. And we are in a very global world, which is why, we have different people all over the world, from Japan, from Indonesia, from Singapore, coming here today together in a global world like that. Besides continuing to develop the next generation's critical process, such as communication and reasoning, we also need to emphasize their development of metacognition by promoting self-directed learning through personalized learning. And we are happy that we have opportunity to do so using AI. So with an advanced AI platform, we can personalize each and every student's learning through adaptive practices that are generated on the fly based on students' progress. And I will show you how the AI-driven adaptive practices work in the next few slides. So this is like Dr. Harris has mentioned, I'm from the education background, so I'll be using materials from my work to illustrate how the use of AI is applicable in math. So we can use AI-driven assessment to check for students' level of understanding and mastery level at different junctures of a lesson. So for a lesson, typically it involves 3 phases. It involves getting students ready, and then we engage them to learn the new thing, and then we help them master the subject. So getting ready is very important for anyone to experience success. And at Marshall Cavendish, we design materials for students to experience early success and following which success will beget success as we design materials with careful consideration in the learning progression. So when we get students ready, we diagnose their readiness and we provide timely interventions through the use of AI-driven assessments. And this helps us bridge any learning gaps right from the start. And then put it in action. This is a sample page from our ebook, and this is a topic on parameter, area, and volume. And you know, like students, you learn about area of triangle, area of circle, area of sector of a circle. So the prior knowledge is then Pythagoras theorem and sum of angles at a point. So on the book, you can see it is static. So we have embedded AI into the ebook, and when we click on the AI link, you will see questions being generated on the fly on Pythagoras theorem. So this is a sample question on Pythagoras theorem. So because it's generated on the fly, it is unlikely that two students will get the same question. So once students got it right, the AI will push the next question type, which is sum of angles at a point. So what happens if students got it wrong? Oops, it's incorrect. Then the engine will continue to push it a similar question. So solve it again, and at each point of the way, each step of the way, the worked solutions will be shown so that students can learn from their mistakes before they move along.
Mm.
And then it goes on. Right. Of course, the learning journey can be configured by the users. And that was the student view. Sorry, let me go into presentation mode. And just in case you are wondering how does the teacher view look like, there will be immediate reporting. So it was recalled. And then, you know, there'll be a teacher dashboard where you can see individual students' progress, the questions that they have attempted or skipped, or the different attempts that they have made. And this is the dashboard. So this is a sample view of what the teachers see. Right. So next at the engagement phase, so once students are ready, you have diagnosed them, we have given them varied questions to get them ready with the work solutions. Now they are ready to learn a new thing. So, you know, in the lesson, to learn the new information, teachers may use a repertoire of pedagogies or strategies to engage students in the new learning. And in the process, teachers have an option to use AI-driven assessments, once again, as formative assessments to check students' understanding. And the good thing about such assessments is that it is automated and every student can progress at their own pace. And I'm going to show you how it looks like for two students. So before I play the video, so on the left, you can see, how should I do this? Okay. On the left, you can see that I logged in as Serene. And on the right, it's Alina. So we are going to attempt the same topic on integers. So click on the section, and then let's start the practice for Serene. And then same thing for Alina. So it is on addition of two positive integers. So Serene logged in the answer of 20 and Alina keyed in an answer of 80. So let's check the answers. Very nice. Serene got it right. And unfortunately, oops, Alina got it wrong. So let's see what comes up next. So Serene can progress to add two different types of integers, two negative integers. As for Alina, a different set of positive integers will be pushed to her so that she can practice the same learning objective. So Serene, good student, A star. Alina, okay, she got it after she learned from the first example. And then it moves on. And then the next question, right, now it's a different question type. For Serene and for Alina, she finally got addition of 2 positive integers. Now she can move on to addition of 2 negative integers. So from this, you can see that the 2 students, they are progressing through the same learning objectives, but at different pace, depending on their readiness level. And the questions you can see are generated on the fly. And it goes on. I will move on because I believe by now you can see the adaptive part. And then, like I mentioned, there are 3 phases of learning. We get students ready, we engage them to learn already, and now it's really to master the math. And here's where, you know, like we get students to consolidate or even extend their learning. And of course, there are different mastery approaches. It could be practice, reviews, or even doing a project work. I just like to say that here, it is also possible for us to use AI to conduct summative assessments when necessary. And this is where a score or a grade can be generated for the purpose of reporting. And because questions are generated on the fly, it is almost unlikely for 2 students to get the same question. And this reduces the risk of plagiarism. And after each assessment, it could be formative assessment, it could be summative assessment. There is an option to enable personalized corrective practice as an after-test reflection or a retention mechanism. So through the corrective practice, students are able to re-evaluate the concepts that they have attempted incorrectly or have skipped. And such an experience will allow learners to remedy their weakness at their own pace, making it very personal. So, I've shown you how the use of AI can enhance teachers' productivity because we automate the grading process and we deliver timely feedback to facilitate personalized learning progress for each and every student. And it is worthwhile for you to consider whether AI can be leveraged to boost your productivity within your field of expertise. So is it possible to improve productivity? And if so, you may wonder how you can begin to think about how you can harness AI to enhance productivity in your domain. I won't ask you to do Mentimeter here. Later on, you'll have a chance to do that. So just keep this question in mind. And I will now move on to the second key idea, which is how we can leverage AI to simplify problem-solving process. So the AI platform can facilitate the breaking down of a very complex question with integrated concepts or topics to allow students to solve the question step by step. And I will show you an example of how the AI algorithm can break down a complex question into smaller bite-sized concepts that can provide students assistance in refining their own problem-solving skills. So here, since we were on integers, so earlier on, students have learned to add, subtract, multiply, and divide integers. So now let's look at more complex questions. I mean, it's relative. I guess it's easy for you at your level, but imagine this is for students who have just learned about integers and mixed operations. So we'll consider mixed operations for the students to be complex. So we have Serene and Alina once again. So it is on adding and multiplying the integers where students have to apply the property of order of operations. And let's wait for both of them to lock in their answers. Good job, Serene. So she got it right. What about Alina? Oops, she's having some issues. So the question seems complex for her at the moment. And you can see that from the word solution, it is broken down into different concepts for her to learn how to go about solving this problem. And when she moves on to the next question, the AI is breaking down the complex question into something simpler for her to revisit what she has learned earlier, which is like separate operations, like she's going to multiply now, followed by subtracting. So each bite-sized task only has one operation. And once she's confident, she can move back to the normal practice mode. So that's just an example to illustrate how a complex problem can be broken down into bite size. And then, so besides the predetermined practices and assessments that most students will go through, teachers can also use AI to prepare and generate scaffolded learning materials with soft examples and broken concepts. And such personalized experience and problem-solving assistance will help build students' confidence as they progress at their own pace and find joy in learning. So this is a teacher view. And so for the easy level, you can see that this is different topic on properties of circles. So for the easy level, typically the question involve one property of circles, angles of circles. So like angle at center equals twice angle at circumference. So it's just one property, which is why it's at the easy level. So there's no need to break down because it is the simplest form of the question type. And then let's look at medium level questions now. It's beginning to look a little more complex given the extra lines you are seeing on the diagram. And I'm not expecting you to solve it, but I will show you the work solutions below, and you can see that there are a few properties at play here. And then it is possible to click on the show broken concept to simplify and scaffold that learning process for students. And once they are ready with the scaffolded process, then they can move back to the normal mode. And I will move on. So through that, I have shown you how we can use AI to simplify problem-solving process for students through the use of the breakdown mode. And similarly, it's your turn to consider whether you can leverage AI to simplify or refine your problem-solving process within your area of expertise. And if it's possible, how will it be? How can you approach things differently moving forward? And very quickly, I have actually come to the end of the presentation, and I would like to hear your voice again. Thank you for the 20% participation rate just now. I'm hoping we can get maybe 30% participation rate here. So we know there is emerging trends on the use of AI. So I want to invite you to think, what does it mean for you? You, it could be an individual level. You could mean an engineering student or a faculty member. Or you, it could mean at a department level or a school, university level. What does it mean? Or it could even mean at an industry level. What does it mean for the domain? So scan the QR code. Feel free to share your thoughts to add on to the thinking within your community. Yeah, so once again, there is no right or wrong answer. You could be excited towards the use of like AI. You could
Lina,
be, yeah.
what a
Oh yeah, I need to.
Yeah, but
sorry.
we
I'm
are
too
so sorry
excited to.
because we are out of the time.
Ah, right. Can I activate? Oh, okay. So so I should end it now? Is that
Maybe
right?
you can go for 2 minutes.
We go for it. Okay, let's go for it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, give me a minute. So if you want to give your
Thank
thoughts,
you.
quickly pick up your phone now. It's your last chance. We have I guess 30 seconds to share your thoughts. Bring it back with you. Oh, yeah. So let me present it. Yeah. Scan the QR code. So I guess we really have run out of time. I can see it's 5:30. Yeah, so Dr. Harris kindly give us like up to 5:31. I see people, but I don't see responses. Very important for idea generation, practical, replacement. Come on, let's hit 10 and we can call it a day, I guess. I don't want to be holding up the next speaker. To draw ideas, practical assessments. All right, I guess you can keep your ideas coming. So thank you very much for your ears and your attention. Dr. Harris, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Alina, for the great lecture. We are really love to hear and listen and also follow your presentation and lecture. But we are really sorry because the time is not enough. We only have 30 minutes totally with question and answer. So anyway, for the questions, I think we are out of the time. Maybe I only can say that this AI-driven platform is so amazing. So we can assess the student work so fast, and the student maybe, the student must be very happy. They can try and try again until they can get the competency. Because sometimes there is a situation that students do the assignment, but they're still waiting the assessment, then they feel bored. But with this AI-driven platform, so they can try again. If they do false, then they do again, they try again until they can got their competency. Well, I think that's all for Miss Alina. Or
thank
maybe
you very much.
Thank you very much too, Miss Alina.
Yeah.
We are welcoming you again to the next event, next happy event. Please don't hesitate to come again to our campus. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih
Good to
kembali.
meet everyone.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry because the time is not enough, and then I will give the time back to the Master of Ceremony. Please, Alvina, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Alina, for the amazing presentation about artificial intelligence for vocational education. It was very interesting. And now, we will move to the next lecture, that is Augmented Reality in CAD Building for Vocational Education by Dr. Abdul Haris Setiawan, that will be moderated by Mr. Budi Siswanto, Master of Architecture. Okay, before that, I will explain a little bit about Mr. Budi. Mr. Budi Siswanto, Bachelor of Education and Master of Architecture. He received his Bachelor of Education at Civil Engineering Education Universitas 11 Maret in 1998, and he received his Master of Architecture Building Science at Universitas Indonesia in 2007. Now, Mr. Budi, time is yours.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Mr. Budi.
First of all, I would like to thank committee and thank you, Alvina. Thank you for Alvina for giving me a good chance to speak here as a moderator. And you can be Buddhist.
Thank you, Mr. Budi.
Yeah. For the speaker, Professor Mitsuhara and Miss Alina Kau Henron, thanks very much for taking attending. Thanks, we sincerely appreciate your coming, and we are delighted to have the opportunity to have been able to share an experience, opinions, and insightful knowledge. And of course, don't forget the happy ladies and gentlemen who participate in this public here. Let me accompany Mr. Abdul Haris Setiawan, Dr. Philosophy, to give a lecture about augmented reality and computer-aided design building for vocational education. And Mr. Dr. Haris, time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Budi Siswanto. Let me share my screen. Can you hear my voice, Mr. Budi Siswanto?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, because we have very little time, so I will start my lecture now. So we are talking about augmented reality in vocational education. Before, we have already heard about VR and ER from Professor Mitsuhara Sensei. And now we will talk about the augmented reality in vocational educations, especially in civil engineering education. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know that the augmented reality, this is a technology that combines the real world with digital or virtual elements. So in augmented reality, virtual information and objects are displayed interactively on top of the real world, creating experiences that complement or extend physical reality. And you know, in vocational educations, we can understand that this augmented reality will help us in many other ways. And what I will talk to you is the next for the next lecturer, then it will be implemented into you know, into the real project. So please follow this step, and then you will try to make the augmented reality not only by seeing the screen, but also you will make the project how to make the augmented reality in civil engineering education major subject. But we are not only stop in vocational education, especially in we may say in our major subject in civil engineering education, but also in other sites like maybe here number 1, simulated training environment, like ER can create simulated work environment where students can practice and develop their educational skills. For example, automatic repair, students can use ER to overlay virtual instruction, diagrams, and animation to physical vehicle. This is like in the mechanical engineering. And in the civil engineering, we can say that site analysis and visualization, it can be used to overlay digital information such as 3D models, blueprints, or data overlays into real-world construction site. This allows students to better understand and visualize the plant structure in their actual location. And then number 3, like design, review, and collaboration. Augmented reality enables students to view and manipulate the 3D models of civil engineering design in real-world context. And then the next is construction and safety training. Augmented reality also can provide hands-on training in construction process and safety protocols. Students can overlay virtual instruction, animation, and annotation into physical structure, equipment, or work environment. And then, BIM, Building Information Modeling. BIM is widely used in civil engineering for creating digital representation of construction projects. So it can integrate the BIM models, allowing students to view and interact with detailed virtual models overlaid onto physical elements at construction site. And then besides that, we know that equipment operation and maintenance, it can enhance the training of students in operating and maintaining construction equipment. And then we know that structure analysis and inspection. Augmented reality can assist in the analysis and inspection of civil engineering structure. So students can use augmented reality to visualize hidden elements, structural loads, or stress simulation overlaid onto physical structure. And then we can see it can be used as a remote collaboration and consultation. Augmented reality allows remote collaboration between students, instructor, and industry professionals. Students can share their augmented reality enhanced views, receive guidance, and collaborate on projects with experts who may be located elsewhere, enabling real-time feedback and mentorship. So these are ways in which augmented reality can be applied in vocational education by leveraging augmented reality technology. Vocational education, especially in civil engineering, can provide students more immersive, interactive, practical learning experience. So augmented reality facilitates the integration of theoretical knowledge with the real condition, with the real industrial condition. So augmented reality in vocational education is very important, and we need to make the development of this technology. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many types of augmented reality. As we know, we have already heard from Mitsuhara Sensei before. There are often in the form of predefined pattern or image as reference point to overlay digital contents. And then there are also markerless augmented reality. It is also known as location-based augmented reality. Use the device, GPS, compass, and other sensor to determine the user location or orientation. And in this event, in this lecture, we will, we will try to choose one of some kind of augmented reality, and we will follow the next lecturer. Then also there are projection-based augmented reality, and then superimposition-based augmented reality, and then outlining-based augmented reality, and then recognition-based augmented reality. Ladies and gentlemen, there are still outlining-based augmented reality that it outlines object or structure in the real world using augmented lines or contours. So this technique is like, like surveying. And then recognition-based augmented reality. So it utilizes object recognition algorithm to identify and track specific object or image in the real world. Ladies and gentlemen, and in today's lecture, then we will try to learn how to make the marker-based augmented reality. Now we will follow the next lecturer, and before we follow the instruction from the next lecturer, Miss Lilis, I will tell you about how to make the augmented reality in implementation. So we can see here, to make an augmented reality. So this is a mind map that you can see. To make an augmented reality, we need to have asset. This asset including image target and also 3D models. As you know, image target, it is including GPG file and printout image. And the 3D models, this is the main project. We can use like many, application like AutoCAD and 3ds Max, Revit, Blender, Archicad, Google SketchUp, or any other things, any other application that can be used to make 3D models. And then there is also...
Excuse me, Mr. Haris. Slide-nya kayaknya nggak bisa berubah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So this is the mind map of augmented reality. So when you want to make an augmented reality, so you will make image target and also 3D models. So you need AutoCAD, 3ds Max, Revit, Blender, Archicad, Google SketchUp, and many more. So you can choose as long as the application can make the 3D models. So this is okay. And beside that, there is also an engine. There is also many engines in that is popular, and we know like Unity and also Vuforia. But this is not only Vuforia and Unity. There is many other things too. But we will try to make by Unity and Vuforia. And ladies and gentlemen, I think the time for me for the to make us understand about how to make the augmented reality, the time is up, and then we can move to the next lecturer, because this is involving of implementing of this knowledge. I will move to the next slide, like this. So this is our framework of augmented reality. Then you need image target, and then image target is uploaded to Vuforia, and then this is come to the Unity, and then we can make your 3D models become you can present the 3D models from the image target. But ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the introduction of the augmented reality that will continue by the next lecturer, Ms. Lilis Tianingsih. Thank you very much. I give the time to Mr. Budi Seswanto. Thank you very much, Mr. Budi Seswanto.
Thank you, Mr. Haris. Okay, and then for the speaker, Miss Lilis. From Miss Lilis, time is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Budi. Good afternoon, everyone. Great to meet you. I'm Lilis. I'm from Civil Engineering Department Universitas 11 Maret Surakarta. Saya sangat bahagia bisa sharing dan belajar di sini. Saya ingin menyapa teman-teman baik saya yang hadir di sini. Mereka dari Palembang, Sulawesi, Yogyakarta, dan Cilacap. Saya mengucapkan terima kasih banyak dan para audien yang hadir di sini. In this meeting, I will explain how to make MAR-based augmented reality for Android platform with Unity 3D and Vuforia. Okay, let me to demonstrate step by step in how to make IR, and please let me to presentation with Indonesian language. Let me to share my screen. Can see my screen?
Yes.
Oke. Jadi sebelumnya sudah dijelaskan konsep dari augmented reality. Nah, di sini bagaimana caranya membuat augmented reality. Nah, pertama kita harus menginstal Unity 3D sebagai engine atau aplikasi dan juga Vuforia. Nah, sebelumnya juga sudah ditampilkan mind map. Yang pertama disiapkan itu adalah 3D model dan juga image target. Nah, di sini ketika teman-teman belum menginstal Unity 3D, teman-teman bisa mengakses di unity.com, lalu download for Windows. Setelah itu, setelah terdownload, nanti teman-teman untuk menginstal di laptop atau desktop teman-teman. Selanjutnya, teman-teman login ke Vuforia. Lalu register. Setelah register, nanti teman-teman bisa mengklik yang saya tandai di sini, Add Vuforia Engine. Setelah berhasil mengunduh, selanjutnya, ya, jadi dua aplikasi tadi harus teman-teman install di laptop ya. Jadi Unity 3D sebagai software-nya untuk membuat augmented reality-nya. Nah, pertama yang harus disiapkan adalah 3D model. Nah, 3D model tadi itu bisa dibuat di Unity atau di Revit, AutoCAD, SketchUp, Archicad, Blender, dan seterusnya. Nah, di sini saya akan mendemonstrasikan 3D model yang sudah disiapkan dan sudah dibuat sebelumnya dan disimpan atau harus diekspor yang bisa terbaca oleh Unity 3D-nya. Lalu yang kedua adalah kita perlu menyiapkan marker. Nah, marker atau penanda. Penanda ini berupa gambar atau kode unik. Nah, teman-teman bisa melihat di layar di sini ya. Ini adalah bentuk marker atau gambar yang sudah saya siapkan untuk membuat AR-nya. Dan di atas ini adalah beberapa 3D model yang sudah saya siapkan yang sudah diekspor dalam bentuk .dai file atau FBX file ya. Selanjutnya, setelah menyiapkan dua tadi, kita akan bekerja di Vuforia atau website Vuforianya dengan cara ketika kita sudah register, kita login. Setelah login, nanti di sini akan ada nama teman-teman sesuai dengan yang sudah didaftarkan. Lalu klik License Manager untuk membuat license key yang akan dimasukkan di Unity 3D dengan cara diklik Get Basic, lalu kita buat nama untuk lisensi key-nya di sini. Nah, di sini saya contohkan AR 3D Home, Arsitektur, dan Struktur. Nanti ketika diklik, maka akan muncul lisensi key yang akan kita copy ke Unity-nya. Selanjutnya, kita masuk ke Target Manager. Nah, di Target Manager ini, kita akan membuat database image target atau marker atau gambar atau kode unik yang akan kita gunakan untuk membuat IR-nya tadi. Nah, dengan cara create database, lalu pilih device. Nah, lalu akan muncul tampilan seperti ini. Nanti teman-teman klik add target, lalu unggah file image target yang sudah disiapkan sebelumnya. Jadi sebelumnya saya menampilkan ada 3 image target. Yang pertama tentang marker home, marker detail kuda-kuda, dan marker untuk detail ring baloknya. Setelah sudah dibuat, nah di sini perlu diperhatikan adalah rating. Ketika ratingnya banyak, maka gambar ini bisa terbaca dengan mudah di sistem. Ketika nanti teman-teman sudah berhasil membuat AR-nya dan terinstall di Android, marker ini akan mudah di-scan dan objek 3D-nya akan muncul lebih cepat karena lebih mudah dikenali. Jadi harus diperhatikan ratingnya. Kalau ratingnya 5, oh berarti ini penandanya bagus, bisa dilanjutkan. Kalau misalnya ternyata kok ratingnya 0 sama sekali, oh berarti markernya perlu diganti atau kode uniknya harus diganti gitu. Setelah itu diklik download. Seperti itu. Selanjutnya, nah ketika teman-teman tadi sudah mendownload Unity dan sudah terinstall, nah di sini ini adalah tampilan dari Unity 3D Engine-nya. Di sini ada beberapa yang sudah saya tandai ya dari project. Nah, di project ini ada aset. Aset itu tempat untuk memasukkan 3D modeling yang sudah kita siapkan sebelumnya. Jadi di sini ada 3 3D modeling, ada fasad rumah ya kayak seperti ini, lalu ada detail kuda-kuda dan ada detail ring balok. File yang sudah kita siapkan sebelumnya di-drag ke sini. Jadi filenya di-drag, dimasukkan ke aset sini. Kalau modelnya lebih dari 1, maka kita perlu membuat folder agar filenya terorganisasi dengan baik, seperti itu. Setelah itu, setelah file 3D modelnya sudah dimasukkan ke sini, langkah selanjutnya adalah kita ke menu aset. Nah, di menu aset ini kita akan memasukkan pertama yang sudah kita download di Vuforia. Jadi di aset ini nanti di sini ya. Nah, di menu aset ini nanti dipilih import package, lalu custom package, masukkan add Vuforia. Jadi yang saya tandai di awal sebelumnya. Nah, ini kita importkan. Begitu juga selanjutnya adalah mengimport database image target yang sudah diunggah di Vuforia, dan database yang sudah di-download dari Vuforia kita importkan ke Unity 3D-nya, seperti itu. Setelah itu, kita kembali lagi ya ke slide sebelumnya. Di sini tuh nanti ada tulisan main kamera. Nah, main kameranya harus kita hapus karena kita akan menggunakan IR kamera dari Vuforia. Nah, jadi di delete yang main kameranya, kita masuk ke Vuforia engine-nya, lalu kita pilih IR kameranya. Lalu pada inspektor itu yang di sini. Inspektor itu yang di sini, nanti dicari open Vuforia Engine Configuration. Nah, lalu di-copy lisensi key yang ada di Vuforia untuk dikopikan ke sini. Selanjutnya, setelah mengimport IR kameranya, selanjutnya adalah mengimport image target yang sudah kita buat di Vuforia dengan cara yang sama. Jadi diklik menu Game Object, pilih Vuforia Engine, lalu klik image target. Nanti kita pilih file yang sudah kita siapkan sebelumnya di folder kita, lalu kita importkan ke sini. Setelah itu di inspektor yang di sebelah kanan ya tadi, isi type from database, isi database dan image targetnya sesuai dengan nama marker yang sudah kita buat sebelumnya. Lalu setelah itu, setelah kita memasukkan 3D model dari image target, itu ini ya, karena waktunya ini ya, jadi saya jelaskan secara cepat saja. Jadi tampilannya seperti ini ya. Ini jadi di sini saya sudah membuat video tutorialnya, nanti teman-teman bisa mengakses di sini ya. Nah, ketika sudah memasukkan 3D model dan juga image targetnya ya, nanti akan nampak seperti ini. Ya, saya percepat aja. Nah, jadi ini image targetnya sudah diimportkan ke sini dan kita mengatur supaya 3D model berada di atas image target ya. Seperti ini tayangannya. Lalu setelah sudah diatur semuanya, ini saya membuat tiga model. Jadi ada detail ring balok, lalu detail kuda-kuda dan juga 3D model dari rumah sederhana. Nah, selanjutnya step by step sudah dilakukan dan sudah selesai. Kita selanjutnya adalah kita melakukan uji coba. Nah, cara uji cobanya adalah kita mengklik bagian play yang ada di atas itu, dan kalau sudah berhasil lah seperti ini ya. Jadi kita klik. Nah, ini. Oke, jadi ketika sudah 3D modelnya kita buat, lalu kita tes dengan kamera yang ada di laptop kita dengan menunjukkan marker atau image targetnya ke layar kameranya, maka kalau sudah berhasil, maka kita bisa langsung ke. Nah, jadi ketika sudah berhasil ini saya tunjukkan ke layar kamera yang ada di laptop, oh ternyata markernya sudah berhasil gitu ya. Ini markernya bisa ditunjukkan di handphone, jadi gambar yang ada di handphone juga bisa ditunjukkan ke layar gitu, dan bisa mendetek 3D model yang sudah kita buat seperti itu ya. Dan apabila kita bisa mengecek secara bersama-sama juga dengan marker lebih dari satu di layar kamera laptop kita ya. Seperti itu ya. Mungkin nanti bisa detailnya teman-teman bisa mengakses video ini di link Google Drive ya. Nah, jadi di sini ada link Google Drive untuk mengakses, ada contoh file 3D model yang sudah saya ekspor untuk bisa dimasukkan di Unity 3D, dan juga nanti ada video tutorialnya step by step untuk membuat 3D, untuk membuat AR-nya seperti itu. Mungkin itu yang bisa saya sampaikan karena waktunya sudah habis. Terima kasih banyak. Apabila saya ada salah kata, saya mohon maaf. Saya kembalikan ke Pak Budi.
Thank you, Miss Lilis Trianingsih. Okay. And then okay, let's go to the question and answer stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I beg your pardon. I think speaking in Indonesian is fine. Okay, let me speak in Indonesian for more clearing. Yeah. Baik, hadirin sekalian, biar kita lebih interaktif mungkin ya. Jadi mohon izin saya berbicara dengan bahasa Indonesia untuk memoderatori sesi tanya jawab ini, dan kebetulan juga pembicara juga dari Indonesia, Pak Haris dan Bu Lilis. Ya. Oh ya, tadi sedikit lupa menyampaikan bahwa background Pak Haris adalah S1 lulusan dari Universitas 11 Maret, lulus tahun 2004, kemudian dilanjutkan dengan studi lanjut S2-nya beliau di Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, mengambil tentang pendidikan teknik kejuruan, dan S3-nya beliau lulusan Jepang, sehingga beliau bergelar Doctor of Philosophy, PhD. Demikian ya Pak Haris. Halo, mendengar? Yes,
thank you, Mr. Budi.
Oke. Ya, oke. Bu Lilis, Lilis Trianingsih merupakan lulusan UNJ juga, dengan mengambil S1-nya Pendidikan Teknik Sipil dan Perencanaan, salah nama Ibu ya, UNJ. Kemudian S2-nya juga di UNJ, jurusan Pendidikan Teknik Kejuruan. Itu ya. Baik. Alina, waktu berapa menit untuk tanya jawab? Alvina, I'm sorry. Alvina MC, berapa menit tanya jawab?
Mohon maaf Pak, sebenarnya ini waktunya sudah habis.
Sudah lewat?
Iya.
Okay. Baik, 5 atau 10 menit ya. Mungkin teman-teman kalau dengan saya pancing dengan bahasa Indonesia, ada yang ingin bertanya, nanti mohon dibantu ya Pak Haris ya.
Ya,
ya baik. Rekan-rekan semua, Bapak Ibu semua, hadirin dalam kegiatan kuliah umum ini bersama Profesor Mitsuhara dan Miss Alina Kau, dan juga narasumber tadi juga dari Bapak Dr. Haris dan Ibu Lilis Trianingsih, Magister Pendidikan. Silakan apabila ada yang ditanya. Tadi luar biasa sekali. The amazing is in class today. Amazing. Jadi ada perihal AR dan VR, kalau memang ingin ditanyakan lagi, dan Pak Haris tadi juga sudah nambahkan itu, Bu Lilis juga. Silakan, waktu ada 5 dan 10 menit, kami buka dari sekarang. Silakan. Ya baik, rekan-rekan semua, Bapak Ibu, hadirin semua, ladies and gentlemen, bahwa kegiatan ini terselenggara atas izin dari Bapak Wakil Dekan 1 FKIP, Vice Dean of the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, dan juga atas support dan dukungan dari Bapak Kepala Program Studi Pendidikan Teknik Bangunan, Head of the Building Engineering Education Study Program. Terima kasih Profesor Slamet Subiantoro. Terima kasih Bapak Dr. Insinyur Ida Nugroho Saputro. Maka silakan. Atau ditulis nih Pak Aris. Ya baik. Atau ini nanti sekiranya ada pertanyaan setelah membaca ini semua, nanti dari peserta ada yang ingin bertanya secara tertulis, nanti kita buka ya Pak Aris ya. Boleh ya?
Boleh.
Jadi kita buka pertanyaan. Dan di sini dari Mr. Dr. Haris itu menyampaikan untuk seluruh peserta itu nanti mengerjakan tugas membuat proyek AR atau augmented reality untuk mendapatkan sertifikat pelatihan dengan waktu yang disesuaikan dengan bobot. Ya, jadi tugas narasumber tadi sudah menyiapkan file tutorial. Nanti apabila belum mendapatkan bisa menghubungi panitia atau nanti dari kami, di mana link di form unggah tugas sudah ada, ya. Di sini ya sudah ada, nanti bisa ditampilkan ini. Jadi nanti seluruh peserta bisa mendapatkan sertifikat hasil pelatihan ini.
Mr. Budi, boleh bertanya?
Ya, silakan.
Indonesia ya.
Ya,
Mbak Lilis,
saja, tidak apa-apa.
Apakah komputer yang digunakan tuh minimal apa Mbak untuk bisa augmented reality? Terus apakah bisa digunakan di handphone untuk bisa tadi ada program tadi bisa dipakai di handphone? Terus yang kedua, ini kan bisa digunakan untuk mesin dan bangunan dan lain sebagainya. Ya, contohnya untuk pembelajaran bagaimana nanti gunakannya. Terima kasih, boleh.
Ya, baik. Langsung saja berarti interaksinya ya, Mr. Haris and Miss Lilis. Ada pertanyaan dari Pak Ida bahwa spesifikasi gitu Bapak ya, yang dimaksud ya. Oke, waktu ya. Siap. Spesifikasinya Bu Lilis.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Budi dan terima kasih Pak Ida Nugroho yang sudah bertanya. Saya mencoba menjawab. Untuk spesifikasi laptop itu memang membutuhkan spesifikasi yang cukup tinggi ya. Untuk detailnya mungkin nanti bisa di-sharing gitu ya. Jadi sama halnya ketika kita mengoperasikan AutoCAD, kita perlu laptop dengan prosesor yang cukup tinggi gitu dan RAM juga cukup besar gitu ya, sehingga bisa berjalan dengan mudah seperti itu. Dan untuk jadi AR ini bisa terinstall di handphone Android ketika kita men-scan marker atau penanda atau kode unif atau gambar. Ini contohnya nih gambar ini adalah marker yang ketika AR-nya sudah terinstall di handphone Android, terus layar kamera AR-nya dituju ke ini ya, menembak objek ini, maka akan muncul 3D-nya. Dan penerapannya di pendidikan, teknik bangunan sendiri itu latar belakang pendidikannya itu mayoritas SMA. Dan untuk membayangkan misalkan sistem utilitas, membayangkan struktur atau bagian-bagian dari struktur itu kan sulit. Nah, dengan adanya media AR ini itu bisa membantu mahasiswa untuk bisa memvisualisasikan gambar 2 dimensi menjadi gambar yang 3 dimensi, sehingga pengetahuan siswa maupun mahasiswa itu akan lebih bisa gitu. Seperti itu, Pak. Terima kasih.
Oke, thank you, Miss Lilis. Demikian Pak Ida.
Cukup.
Oke, one skin question for Mr. Haris. Mr. Haris, Ada pertanyaan Bapak. How effective is it for the use of AR for the world of education? Jadi pertanyaannya seberapa efektif Pak penggunaan AR untuk di dunia pendidikan? Memang kan di dunia Indonesia itu belum merata teknologinya Pak. Demikian kurang lebih pertanyaan Pak.
Okay, thank you very much. This is very good questions from Mr. Andariski Yunanda. Yes, for the production of ER, I think this is not very easy, like what Ms. Lily told to us, that we need a very high specification of the device to produce this ER. But actually, for the user, this is not very high specification. So you can only have a mobile phone, use Android, then you can use it. This is the simple way to use the AR. But maybe if you want to have the more sophisticated device, yeah, maybe this is need a very high cost. But only by Android you can use the AR. So I think this is very effective, because I think in Indonesia, even in remote area, every student have the mobile phone. I think that's all. Thank you.
Oke, thank you, Mr. Hades. Jadi bisa menggunakan handphone ya Bapak ya?
Yes.
Jadi penggunaan handphone sederhana, yang dimana kan ya, seluruh penduduk Indonesia itu kan sudah pegang handphone, apalagi sejak pandemi ini, gitu ya. Pertanyaan dari ini tadi Pak Hades, dari Rizky Dwi Nanda. Terima kasih. Oke, sehubungan dengan waktu yang sudah sangat sempit ya Bapak Ibu, tadi juga sudah dibatasi, saya minta waktu 5-10 menit ke Mbak Alvina. Ya. Oke, time is return to Master of Ceremony, Alvina. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Haris and Ms. Lewis, for the amazing presentation of augmented reality in CAT building. It was very informative and interesting. Okay, the lecture session will be end now. Let's give a big applause to our speakers and moderators. The next agenda is giving certificate to the guest lecturers. The keynote lecturer's certificate will be given by the committee chair to Dr. Haris. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Alvina. I will now present the certificate, and I will give the certificate to the keynote speaker. Well, I would like to express my deepest gratitude and high appreciation to Professor Hiroyuki Mitsuhara Sensei, and would you mind receiving the certificate? And also, I also would like to express my deepest gratitude and high appreciation to Miss Alina Kao Handron. Would you mind receiving the certificate, Miss Alina? And also, I would like to express my deepest gratitude and high appreciation to Ms. Lilis Trianingsih. Please receive the certificate. And besides, I also appreciate Ms. Alvina for being the Master of Ceremony, and also for Mr. Budi Seswanto as the moderator. I think that's all. And one more, we would like to tell to the participant that like in the column of the chat, dear participant, selanjutnya silakan saudara-saudara mengerjakan tugas membuat proyek augmented reality untuk mendapatkan sertifikat pelatihan dengan waktu yang disesuaikan dengan bobot tugas. Jadi Bapak Ibu sekalian dan saudaraku, partisipan otomatis akan mendapatkan sertifikat, namun sertifikat untuk sehari saja. Untuk sertifikat dengan jam tertentu, misalnya 32 jam, itu Bapak Ibu sekalian, adik-adik mahasiswa silakan untuk mengunggah tugas untuk mendapatkan sertifikat pelatihan dengan bobot yang lebih tinggi, di atas 32 JP. Baik, cukup itu. Terima kasih. I send back the time to Alvina. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Haris. And now, we entering in the closing remark session that will be presented by Head of Civil Engineering Education Study Program, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas 11 Maret, Dr. Ida Nugroho Saputra, Master of Engineering. To Dr. Ida Nugroho, time is yours.
Oke, thank you, Mr. Karina. Nggak kelihatan. Oke, tidak usah pakai. Oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank the Dean of FKIP UNS for all the support. Prof. Ms. Suhara, PhD, and Ms. Alina Koharon, thank very much for great lecture. Bapak Abdul Haris, PhD, dan Ibu Listianingsih, terima kasih atas materi yang luar biasa diberikan di kita ini di sore hari ini. We sincerely appreciate you coming, and we are delighted to have the opportunity to have been able to share your experience, opinion, and insightful knowledge. And also, I would like to thank the community for their great contribution. So this event has been very well organized. To all the students and the participants, I really appreciate your great effort in studying and updating the use innovation of modern learning technologies. With this event, I hope we can improve your motivation to develop the quality of your education through collaboration and lifelong learning. Ladies and gentlemen, we expect to have more things to share knowledge and learning strategy sustainably in civil engineering and vocational education. In fact, more experts conduct more research, community research, and hold more scientific discussion and seminar. Once again, as the representative of the Civil Engineering Study Program, the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Universitas 11 Maret, I would like to express my appreciation and gratitude to all the keynote lecture for the great lecture. Moreover, I would like to express my deep gratitude and high appreciation to all participants in this program who have willingly participated in the event so that the event can run smoothly without any significant problem. Finally, at the request of the community, I will officially close this event. The International General Lecture and Short Course of Vocational Education Technology is officially closed. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Mr. Ida Nugroho.
Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't feel like time has passed so quickly that we have reached the end of the event. I would like to thank all the participants and our amazing speakers who have taken the time to attend this event, International General Lecture and Learning Technology Short Course in Vocational Education. On behalf of the committee members, I sincerely apologize if there's any mistakes during this event. Roses are red, violets are blue, today is beautiful, and so you are. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Alvina.